Bitcoin is going exactly as predicted, but it is at a very important daily level, which if lost opens the doors for a potential move below $100,000. I'm going to give you my perspective on BTC. I will also have a look at Ethereum. Then I'm going to have a look at two more altcoins because I think we have a rather slow market at the moment and we can look at some more altcoins to be prepared for the next big move. So I'm going to continue this video exactly where I left off my last video, and that is just as a reminder, looking at a swing long trade at around $108,000. I wanted to see the daily level being hit, the previous range point of control, and as we can see here, this is exactly what happened. So from this level, we have seen an increase of nearly 5% to the upside. So that was a beautiful trade. This for me is a swing trade that has already hit 2 take profits, which I also confirmed that I have taken this trade while I was still at break even. So I like to confirm those entries. If I take those, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I don't need to hide my entries. This was exactly it. My entry price here, 108,531, gave this trade while it was still at full risk, more or less at break even. And now we can see how this was following exactly the plan that I made. Besides that, also this previous low was given to the tick actually. So yeah, if you're interested in that, there's only one place to be at, obviously, because that low was also given in advance. It was also announced that I've taken this trade publicly, which you can see here, which you probably all remember. That was this fractal long trade here on BTC, confirmed my entry, and the rest is history. We made a new all-time high, but enough of that. So let's have a look at what's likely going to happen next. So what we can see is we had some lovely candles down here. We can see 1, 2, 3 wicks into the level. So there is no daily close below our support level, which is considered to be strong. However, one thing we had to be aware of is this downtrend anchored view up resistance, which we have slightly front run on Friday. For me, that was a take profit 2 already, because yeah, I can see that the market was moving rather slow. So I wanted to de-risk this position, hit 2 take profits, moved my stop loss to break even. On the local time frame, I still think that price can make a new high. I do think, though, that at the moment we don't have an amazing trade on BTC. So what I want to see is either a move to the upside or to the downside to position myself in a new trade. So I'm going to give you my perspective on the next bigger resistance that I'm looking at. And then I'm going to give you a new level to the downside where I'm only interested in an intraday to day trade as opposed to a swing trade, which if lost, as I already mentioned, could lead to a move below $100,000. So it's very important to be aware of that. When it comes to my next level of interest to the upside, I like to stay on the 4-hour time frame here. And one of my favorite levels, if you follow along on my altcoin streams, is always a previous range value area. So what we can see on BTC after we've done this, we can call it failed auction slash SFP on the daily time frame. So I would consider it a failed auction of the all-time highs. We have seen a very clean 4-hour downtrend and we lost the previous range of value area lows. So that for me is always a super important level the moment we retest that, because a reclaim could open the doors for a move into the previous range value area high if we think about full value rotations. That means, though, that we have to consider the previous range value area low as the first major or key resistance. We can see that it's also lining up with a naked weekly point of control. In terms of price location, this is also good because considering this high and this low, if that is our range, we can see that is lining up with the 0.75. This is the CC right here. I do want to use the 7.5 tool though. And we can see the 7.5 is lining up with this weekly NPOC previous range point of control. So for me, what I am going to do at this area, if I see a reaction, so I'm not going to preset this, but I'm looking at candle closes as my entry confirmation on the 4-hour time frame. I would stay in my long trade, which has 0 risk at this point because 2 take profits are hit. The stop loss is at break even. I would be interested in entering a hedge short trade up here to hedge my long trade and then keep both trades open at the same time. See which one plays out and be in the perfect position to be in as a trader. of a long trade from the lows, a short trade from the highs, and then I can see whichever trade plays out is going to make me profits. So that is my approach on BTC. I actually still have to set my alert, so that's now done. My next level of interest, $115,185 on BTC. Entry confirmation would be for our closes, staying in the long trade, trying to take this hedge trade. So I'm even going to call this hedge short for BTC. Now I'm going to have a look at the next critical support level, which if lost could turn out to be super bearish. One thing though I want to say is that even if we lose that next level of interest, that would actually be a positive in my opinion, because then we can buy BTC cheaper. So whenever we get those pullbacks to the downside, I'm not worried, I'm not scared, I'm just looking at the opportunities, happy to see a drop to the downside to then load up on nice swing long trades again. Because where we are now, we had this one last really good swing long trade in my opinion, but if we lose that, it's time to stay a little bit more patient and potentially wait for $94,000, which is going to be my next major big level on BTC. The level I mean in between is going to be that daily at 105,648. Okay, there is one scenario that I want to see play out down here, and that is going to be take out the liquidity at 105,000, see the move into the previous range value area low. Okay, we think about the previous range theory that I already mentioned. First bounce was off the previous range value area high. Next one, previous range point of control. If that is lost, the one and only target I can look at is the previous range value area low. So then I need to see the reclaim of the daily. I would attempt a long trade here. However, what I'm going to do here is take a quick take profit one, because I could see this bounce for a couple of percent, but then roll over again to at least take out this low right here at $98,000. So that is going to be my approach down here. I want to see the previous range value area low hit. I am interested in taking a trade. I would keep this trade open. However, I'm taking a quick take profit at this previous demand zone, which is going to be around 107,700-ish dollars. Okay, so that's going to be the take profit for this trade. Just taking a little bit risk off of this trade and then see if we get this reclaim or not. And then I could potentially stay in this trade for much longer. But that's going to be my exact game plan on BTC, on where to look for the short trade, when to look for the long trade, how I'm positioned at the moment. So that's gonna probably be my plan for the next 1 or 2 weeks, unless something crazy happens. We do have the FOMC data release this week, where we know, historically speaking, that can cause a lot of volatility. So if you are interested in that, Igor, the coach at Chart Champions, a professional trader, is going to do a public YouTube live trading for the FOMC data release. So if you're interested in how a true professional is managing these volatile markets, make sure to check that video. It's for free here on this YouTube channel. So let's also have a look at Ethereum as promised. And one thing we have to say is that Ethereum is doing what Ethereum likes to do. So we have seen this massive break of, well, it wasn't a massive break of all-time high, but a massive impulse into the all-time high. And ever since, price is fairly stuck. So we can see price in a range-bound environment. And for me as a trader, because on altcoins, I have so many altcoins I can choose from, I don't need to chase any trades. So I can choose the ones that offer the best opportunities. But on Ethereum, although in one of my altcoin streams we had this short trade here, I am not really interested in looking for a new trade. And my plan from last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, from the last YouTube video I have done, the plan is still 100% valid. I'm still looking at around 4,700 for my next short trade of interest, which would be a swing short trade. And my next swing long trade of interest is still going to be 3,885. So other than that, nothing really has changed on Ethereum. So I don't like to overcomplicate it. And especially when we have such a small consolidation range, I don't like to look for a trade and instead look at different altcoins. So if you all remember from the last YouTube video, we had this amazing swing long trade on SUI. This has not hit the target yet. So the target is still going to be 2.775 region down here for my next swing trade of interest. But one thing that I want to teach you here is that although we look at a swing area of interest that could be 10, 20, 30% away, we can still capitalize on low time frame opportunities and still make some good profits while waiting for that bigger trade to play out. The important thing here is to do the daily analysis, look at the market structure, look at the context, look at the confluences, which can obviously change every single day, every week as we get new levels, and then still find those in-between trades while we are waiting for the bigger setups. And one of those was SUI. So on SUI, I have done my altcoin weekly update last Thursday, and I was looking to ladder into a nice long trade here at around this daily NPOC and this daily level. What we can see is that we only hit one of my levels. So only one order was hit. We have now hit my target of this trade. So although I have to stay patient with my swing long trade, I managed to catch a 7% move on SUI in between. So I'm going to show you that this entry was actually given in advance, so it wasn't hindsight trading. This was the altcoin weekly update from the 4th of September. Was giving the exact entry here to the champion members. We laddered into this trade. Perfect bounce, and now we can see the target is hit. So that's what we do every single week. If you're interested in that, you know where to find it, chartchampions.com. That's where we pull these setups every single week. Now I do want to look at one more altcoin, and I want to give you my next swing area of interest, and that is for XRP. XRP, a very famous altcoin. We all know XRP. Some like it, some hate it. For me, I don't really care. I know it has great opportunities for the intraday, for the swing trading side of things. So that is why I am looking at XRP. So for now, I am in a short trade on XRP. I took this trade after seeing this failed auction of the all-time highs. Very common pattern that we've seen in crypto. BTC with a failed auction, Ethereum with a failed auction, XRP with a failed auction of all-time highs. So for me, I have taken my first hedge short trade here for some spot holdings, and I compounded this on the 7.5 retest here. What I'm looking at next is if we see a nice move to the downside, I am interested in a swing long, because overall I still think XRP looks healthy. It is still looking strong. If we look at the higher time frame market structure, we can see prices still making higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So any more significant pullback for me is a nice buying opportunity in terms of a swing long trade where I could accumulate a swing long position to then target a new all-time high potentially. Obviously, the good thing of trading is that we can take profits in between, which is a little bit more difficult if you just hold a long-term investment portfolio and just put some XRP in there and don't really look at this. In trading, we can manage those accounts a little bit more effectively. And my next area of interest on XRP is going to be this previous range point of control. You can see a pattern here. So I covered that on BTC, on Ethereum. It's the exact same on XRP. We have the previous range value area. We can see the deviation above. Previous range value area highs acting as support. We can see another test of that level still acting as support. If we see the previous range value area high lost on XRP, the next target has to be the previous range point of control, which is sitting at 2.4. It's a little bit of a region, but that's going to be my next target. In between, I am 100% not interested in any long trade, so that's going to be my next target. If we, as always, compare it with good price location, for this I like to use the CC Fibonacci, we can see this is also lining up with the CC. And in terms of volume, we also have a weekly naked point of control sitting right below. So I consider the zone between 2.4 down to 2.2 a major swing long target area for XRP. If we retrace into this region, I am interested in laddering into a swing long position on XRP to then aim for a new high. I would take profits along the way, but that is going to be my initial plan, getting into a trade at around here, laddering into this, and then targeting a new high. Obviously, if we see that the market is reversing, we see momentum forming to the downside, and we just see something like a flash crash, I'm not going to try and catch a falling knife. I will monitor the markets. I will see the order flow. I'm going to look at the open interest that's coming in. But as it stands, where we are now with the data that I have available today, I am interested in this area for a swing long trade on XRP. If anything changes, I will announce that obviously and make you all aware. But for now, that is going to be my next area of interest. So with that being said, I have covered BTC. My next areas of interest on BTC, Ethereum, I covered SUI on how to act as a trader and capitalize on the intraday opportunities that we have. I've given you my next swing long area on XRP. And with that, I'm going to see you in the next YouTube video. Make sure to check out the FOMC live trading of Igor. See you in the next video and bye bye.